My name is Brianna Sinclair, and this is my 46th week on HRT. On my channel, I post mostly transgender content, so if you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. If you feel like you want to, you can join me on my Discord or my Blue Sky and follow me there as well. With that being said, let's get right into the video. As I said before, it is my 46th week. Quick measurements update. My hips are 35 inches, my bust is 36 and 3/4 inches, and then my waist is 24 and 3/4 inches. So nothing has changed. So that kind of affirms that my bust has increased in size, which is really good, honestly. I didn't kind of expect such a quick jump, but my bust has been kind of hurting a little bit more recently. So I'm kind of glad that it kind of amounted to something, because the pain's been kind of intense, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah. My emotional state. My emotional state, I feel like, is very stable. I do get sad a little easier, but it's still that range where it's whenever you start HRT, you're a little bit, your emotions are changing. So, because your emotional range is here, and then it widens. And that's kind of what the HRT does emotionally. It's honestly different, in a good way. In a good way. But I feel like I'm very stable. I've got complete control over my emotions. If I'm upset, I can identify ahead of time that I'm upset and deal with it appropriately, and I think that that's a pretty good indicator of where my emotional state lies. My hair reduction so far, throughout my entire transition, my hair reduction has been occurring. Hair reduction has definitely been happening all across my entire body, which is really nice. I've even noticed it in the areas where you shouldn't really be noticing it, which is like your facial hair, your underarms, and your groin area, because those are a little bit different. They're coarser, they're more solid, I guess would be the best term to use for it. But even those have kind of like thinned out a little bit, and I'm happy for that. I'm excited because I'm gonna start going to electrolysis again, and hopefully, I can see my facial hair and stuff start thinning out more, just from losing a little bit hair by hair, and I'm excited for that. But as for the rest of my body, it's essentially the same between last week and this week. My hair, I feel like as my levels in HRT change more in line with what a cis woman's would be, my hair growth is also following suit. Breast growth. Obviously, I am noticing a little breast growth. My chest is consistently hurting, due to that fact, which is fine. It's just painful sometimes. Sometimes I'll have to like stop, hold my chest for a little bit, and like kind of wrap myself, like, it hasn't put me in a full fetal position, but it's been pretty painful at times where it's like and I think the reason it's so painful is just because everything's growing really rapidly. I think that's the reasoning behind that. Fat redistribution. I haven't noticed anything. except for what has occurred in my face. Um, Obviously my bust is growing up. That's supposed to be a bit of fat tissue. Um, my hips have started to like widen a little. Not my hips. My hips have started to like my body's started to deposit fat around my hips because I've noticed like my measurements increasing there, and that's pretty much it, which is honestly kind of nice. I know that it's really subtle to like see the development on like the hip area because it's such a large area, so any deposit is like minute. And I think it is kind of important to note throughout my entire transition process thus far, I've been a consistent roughly 130 to 135 pounds. Um, I think that's kind of important, kind of shows that like my body is using what it had to change, or like it was something was being lost or displaced, like whatever tissue um, was growing as far as like my breast. And I think it's mostly like I'm losing my muscle and stuff like that, but I'm gaining like my breast tissue. I'm gaining like fat in like the places that like feminize me, and I think that that's a pretty important like thing to notice. My sex drive, very much the same between last week and this week. It has not changed at all. Um, kind of a little different. I guess I'll just start from the beginning, kind of recap everything in this one. Before I started, I was kind of like demisexual by choice. Now it's a hard requirement, and I am required in order to perform to have a strong emotional connection with that person that I am being intimate with. And I do find myself like being in the mood the exact same amount and stuff like that, but needing to follow through with that mood is not there, which is incredibly nice because I'm not a fan of intimacy like that. Sure, it's nice. It is very nice whenever it's like everything's just right, but it's not the thing for me. Like as even as a boy, sex wasn't something I just was like super into. I always just kind of wanted like the person that was for me, and that was the person I wanted to be intimate with. And even now, that still kind of like reigns true. So if like I'm intimate with someone, it means like I'm really like into them. Um, and that definitely doesn't happen a whole lot because I'm an extreme introvert, and I'm kind of at this point where like I just don't really need or nor want to date. Um, I think I need to figure some stuff out for myself, and I think that's an important thing to do. Me being tired, I am very tired all the time, all the time. Let me tell you, I am tired. It's just because I think it's because my testosterone is decreasing, and a lot of our energy comes from the testosterone. And because my testosterone levels have dropped into a female range, and my estrogen levels have finally reached a female range, um, that might be like the cause of it. Excuse me. Um, Muscle development has decreased. I'm still toned. I've still got like biceps and stuff, but I think like as long as like I don't like flex super hard, my arms are fine. I am told that like I have like a very feminine shape for like just my body. Like whenever I go out, I wear like a lot of shapewear and stuff like that to kind of like help accentuate like those features that make me feel more feminine. Like I wear a waist trainer whenever I go out and stuff like that. I'm not wearing one now, but whenever I wear like my waist trainer, it helps pull in my waist, which makes my hips look bigger, and that is a more feminine look for me. And I like that look. I like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm more in line with where I should be, and I like that. My voice therapy, I think, is still going well, just not as quickly as I want it to. It's a slow progression, and I'm working on it. So there's that. I use like my job and like these videos and a couple other things to like actually practice my voice, because it takes years. Even I think it's her channel is called Trans Voice Lessons. I think in one of her videos she says that she didn't really notice like serious changes until she was practicing like for 12 hours a day. And it was like just she fully committed to like, this is my voice. I'm going to do it no matter if it sucks or if it's good. And she went with it, and she sounds, I honestly didn't know that she was transgender until for like the first year that I saw her, until like she remarked on it. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. She actually knows. This isn't someone who just is like, I can help um the specific sect of people with their voice because I have an extensive knowledge in like voice training and stuff like that." She not only has that, she applied it and is kind of proof that that works. I think that's really important. Um, so I think I've got electrolysis starting next week, which I'm excited for. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Not next week, the week after, to start electrolysis again. It's a slow process. It's painful and it sucks, but it's worth it. The hair will not grow back, and it's not like you need touch-ups. It's gone forever. And to me, that's a no-brainer choice. I didn't like my facial hair when it started coming through, and I hate it now. Along with all the other hair that I have, except for like that, which grows on top of my head. I absolutely detest my body hair. I would much rather be like smooth and just bald everywhere else, because I having something soft run across your skin like a blanket or something like that is a very like affirming feel for me for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's very nice. And without my hair, it makes me look more feminine, it makes me feel more feminine, and I can get that direct skin contact from like the things that make me comfortable. This week, how am I gonna phrase? So this week I went to like the entire week. I went to a series of classes that kind of like helped me adjust to life as a normal person, and I learned a lot. So because I signed like a series of contracts, I don't necessarily have to write a resume, so I learned how to write a resume. I'm currently making my master resume, so it's extensive. I took a regular resume that I did, and it went from 2 pages to 10, 15. It went from 2 to 15 pages in like a day, because there was a lot to write. I've done a lot. Some of it really cool. Not all of it though. A lot of it's pretty boring, but I've done so much. We learned a lot of benefits and stuff that we have. Learned how to like make connections and stuff, and like I'm in the process of doing everything I can in order to find like a normal job and kind of prepare for like the day I lose mine. But as of right now, it's kind of nice. I don't think I'm going to lose mine, so I'm kind of in this weird state right now where I'm in this hold status, and they don't fully know what they're going to do with me, which is fine. I am perfectly okay with that because I like where I'm at. I don't want an issue that's been crossing my mind is like I don't like being alone and stuff like that, and like I don't like dating. So like whenever I find someone, I get super attached, but because of my job, I move around a lot, and it's never really fair for me to ask someone to displace themselves and come with me. So it's just kind of like up to them. So like I always like I don't know. I guess that's a big reason as to why I'm done dating. It's definitely not the biggest, but it is a big reason. In between my classes and my makeup store job, I would go shopping and stuff like that. I got this dress actually, and just because I would have like an hour or two to kill, so I would like, and by the time I got home, I would just have to turn around and go back. So might as well just stop at the makeup store and walk around for a little bit, and I would find some dresses, some bodysuits, and a couple other things. There were a couple, I thought it was pretty funny. There were actually a couple of us that were being removed because we were transgender. There were at least two. Probably more, because there were at least three, actually. There were at least three, because I remember it was me, um, these two other girls, and I don't think it's appropriate to talk to them and be like, oh, your transition's going really well. How do you like it? Because then even though I'm being kind and polite, I feel like I'm clocking them. And granted, nobody clocks a transgender woman like another transgender woman. I dare anyone to disagree with me on that fact. But I didn't want to I didn't want to put them in that situation where it's like, oh, I can tell that you're transgender, and because then it makes it feel like they're not trying hard enough. My voice gives me away. I'm firmly aware of that. I'm firmly aware. I can walk around and like I get ma'amed up until like I talk, and then it's like there's a hesitation, and they go, oh, miss, ma'am, she, her. But it's that hesitation that like, sure, it sucks. It's not my favorite thing because, yes, I present femininely, but my voice is not as feminine as it needs to be yet. And that's a good part of my transition I'm working on. And I'm working on my hair removal journey, and I've still got all of my surgeries to do. And whenever I get around to those, I hope you all are still with me, because I feel like those are going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of good information in there that I think would be useful regarding like which doctor I'm going to, what I'm packing and stuff like that, and how I'm taking care of myself. And like what I'm doing as far as like my recovery. I think all of that would be helpful information, because if it goes wrong, it would tell my audience, like, don't do this, don't do what I did, be better than me. Or if it goes well, it's like, hey, tweak what I'm doing to fit your standards, fit your needs. That way, you have a good surgical recovery, if surgery is something that you want to do. A lot of things are going in a very weird way, which is fine. I'm just happy that, like, I'm still able to do what I need to do. In so many ways, I'm becoming more stable and, like, solidified. My business is going fantastically, and that's all due to, like, my ex. She's an incredible person who has a mind for business. Speaking of business, I will disclose I did just get permission to get monetized here. And I appreciate everyone who helped get me there. All of you. I couldn't do this without you, and honestly, this channel is not, I never expected it to even get this far. I never thought it would get even this big. I thought the most that, like, I would get was like a couple hundred views tops. I never expected it to turn out this way. I honestly expected like thousands of hate comments, but the fact that, like, I rarely get them tells me that we're not as hated and, like, excluded as the world would like us to think. Most people, I feel like, don't care. Don't care. Like, I obviously care, because, like, whenever I see one of my sisters and stuff, like, walking down the street, I'm like, I hope she's doing well, and stuff like that. Like, sure, I'm able to tell, because maybe it's, like, it might be, like, the way that they're walking, or the way that, like, I can tell by their voice as well, or, like, maybe it's just, like, something small. And that's usually what it is like, we are hyper feminine as people because, like, we have this standard that right now any masculine trait makes us a man, and that's not true. The same masculine traits that people use to identify us can just as well be turned on a cis woman. Like, yes, I'm tone. There are tone women. Yes, I have a deep voice. There are women with a deep voice, but my resonance and stuff like that leans me more towards masculine. My brow bone, my massive Adam's apple, that is like a key giveaway that, yeah, I'm transgender. And but I don't hide it. I'm not sitting here with like a choker and be like, "Oop, don't look at my throat." I don't care. Because it's funny. I appreciate all the good comments. They actually brighten up my day, if I'm being totally honest. The negative comments, I know a lot of people say it, like, they'll have, like, don't interact with them because they'll have, like, a negative impact on, like, my mental state, but they keep me entertained. And two, the number of them being so small and making sure that they're small is a lot to me. And then there's the fact that, like, I will not, if we're being so discriminated against, I will not be silenced. I still go through the men's restroom, even through my classes. I was a transgender woman going into the men's restroom, and I made every boy who walked in there uncomfortable just by being in there. And it's not like I stood there and used the urinal. I went into a stall, did my business, washed my hands, and then left like a normal person. I never made it a big deal that I was in there. I never do. Because I don't enjoy being in there. The place is nasty. And I don't go in like the female restroom, mostly for illegal issues. And I think most people, well, not most people, honestly, some women think that like transgender women are predators. I don't want to see any woman naked except for like my partner. And I don't want to see any woman's boobs except for like my partner if they have them. I've got boobs of my own. I can look at my own boobs. I don't need to see anyone else's except my own. And they're not all that special, to be honest with you. Boobs are nice. They're nice. But they are not everything. I hope that most of my viewers kind of know that. But the ones that don't, I hope you learn that. The easy way. Me telling you. So find some other reason other than someone's breast cup size to love them. My extensions, I'm supposed to get them next week. I'm hoping that goes really well. I would love for my hair to actually be like super hella long. Ideally, my hair is a little bit longer than where I'm at now. I think it's supposed to go like right around here, which would be nice because they're going to clip in, and ideally I'm going to have them until like, I guess until my hair gets to that length, which would be phenomenal. She did say that she's got a shade that's a little bit different, so I think like, but it's close, so it's gonna be like toned, I guess. It's kind of like, it's gonna be darker up top, and then as it grows out, it'll get darker. So I'm excited for that. The grand opening of my restaurant's next weekend, and I'm super excited for it. I honestly can't wait to go. And I don't know if anyone on this channel kind of has put any of this together as like what restaurant I'm talking about or what job I'm talking about, but if you know, I guess you know, and I hope that with that knowledge you keep it a secret for the most part, because I'm only sharing it because this is my diary. There are some aspects I can't share for safety and personal reasons, and I'm glad most everyone has been like, well, actually not most, everyone has been very respectful towards that. There have been a couple people that have suggested as to like what I do. Some have been close, others closer, and I think it's kind of funny. Whenever I lose my job, I can disclose that information. And I think that that would be an interesting topic. I admit I pre-made a video especially for that day because it was the day that I had to think about it for a little while, and I wanted to put something really special together for my audience, because the job I'm at now is important to me. I wanted to convey how important it was for everyone else. But I think that's enough for today. If you like my channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Join me on my Discord and my Blue Sky. This is Brianna Sinclair, signing off.